All right, it looks like for no clear reason the stream just dropped, so we are just continuing from where we were before. For whatever reason, it just opened. I got a little pop-up message saying open broadcast stream just has crashed. So Wang Con, you again. Kind of a convenient stopping point, actually, with the Germans eliminated from the game on the same turn that that happened. It does mean that the broadcast is now going to be split into two parts, which is annoying, but nothing we can do about that. All right, so just as a reset, because I guess this will be a different video on YouTube, as a refresher for where we were, the Romans completed a very long-running conquest of the Germans, but while that war was going on, it took such a long point in time that India now looks like they are kind of have run away with the game in that time span. And then the English are somehow still alive and in this game with four cities somehow. Amazingly, Nottingham's never been captured by anyone, somewhat incredibly. Yes, good time to change the music. Will you go to our medieval here? So we said a very Pyrrhic victory. I think we just looked at the bar graphs, but I can look at that. Will York flip to India? Probably. Except there's, yeah, probably eventually. So we looked at the bar graphs a minute ago, but we can look at them again. Gandhi is super far ahead in terms of anything related to culture or research. He's also ahead in production because he has assembly line. Caesar actually has the most food, and Caesar has the most territory, and Caesar's tops in power. I don't think that would last very long in a war, though, because Gandhi would actually start building units, and he's a full generation ahead in military tech. If you're curious about relations, Caesar could attack, well, anyone. He would be most likely to attack Elizabeth or Gandhi. Uh, he would be foolish to attack Gandhi, but perhaps he will. The smart thing to do for his perspective would be take over Elizabeth's territory and just get stronger because Elizabeth's a weak opponent. Don't know if he'll do that, but we'll see. Single currency. And as far as the other leaders, Hammurabi will not declare, Gandhi will not declare. Elizabeth could declare on Hammurabi, or she could declare on Caesar. I don't see her attacking Caesar. I don't really see her attacking anyone because she's a lot weaker, but stranger things have happened. All right, single currency resolution going through. Uh, Gandhi looks like he's pushing research right now. If you're curious about the actual research rate, it's not close. Gandhi's pretty far ahead. She did attack Suleiman, that's true. Caesar just got out of a war, so he's probably not plotting a war right now. Don't think so. If you're curious about beaker rate, Caesar's at 800, Gandhi's at 1450, Elizabeth's at 500, and Hammurabi's at 800. Hammurabi and Caesar have been very close on research. So like Caesar's not even that far behind Gandhi on research. Like he's, what is it, 800 to 1450? So it's not that big of a difference. The problem is he's an entire era behind on tech. And Gandhi has snapped up like every wonder under the sun. Yeah. Oh no, the war weariness was killing Caesar. His war weariness was awful. Did he drop a police state civic just out of curiosity? No, still in it. Interesting. I mean, he's building research, so it's I don't really see him plotting war. Gandhi's on industrialism, which is the tech that unlocks tanks. Gandhi's culture is pretty outrageous, and he's not even running the slider. Like he will go legendary in 75 turns or so, even if he never turns on the slider. If he does, he can go legendary much faster. All right, this is just a Secretary General vote. I guess we can check to see if Caesar's plotting, although I don't think he is. Oh, well, we have enough on our hands right now. It's like he's not going right back to war, is he? Yes, he is, apparently. Well, if he goes after Gandhi, that's probably his own grave. I don't really see that working. All of Caesar's war weariness is gone, though, because his wars are out. Oh, look at this. Caesar's actually taken over the Secretary General. Hammurabi voted for him. Huh. Interesting. This was a close vote. Well, I guess not that close. Interesting. I wonder if he holds any different votes. So he's not going to pull votes for anyone else for a Diplo victory. He doesn't have nearly enough on his own. He'd have to take over Hammurabi and then get Liz to vote for him to win by Diplo. I don't think he can do that. He's safe from a Diplo loss because he's at 41%. How many votes do you need to win? So to win, you need 371. He was not at 371. He's not really close to winning a Diplo victory. Well, the thing is, in order to win by Diplo, somebody has to vote for you. I actually don't like that rule. It wasn't that way originally. Um, but yeah, you do. He would have to take over Hammurabi and then have Elizabeth vote for him. I think he's more likely to target Elizabeth, though. Like, look, he probably doesn't like the fact that Stuttgart is being crushed by um, English culture. Maybe though, he would be. I wouldn't be surprised if he's dumb enough to attack Gandhi though, which would not be a smart move. No, he's going after Elizabeth. Bye bye, Elizabeth. That's 100% what this is. So that's another opponent off the board. I mean, this is why Caesar's a good leader in AI Survivor. When he smells weakness, he doesn't hesitate. Only 6 war declarations in this game. I knew it would be low. I didn't think it would be this low. So this is probably it for her. Can't really see her surviving against Caesar. I don't think does she even have rifling? Yes, because I see red coats in there. But the power bar graph disparity is enormous. So Caesar does have steam power, does have railroad. He's like early industrial right now. And Elizabeth is similar, but does not have steel. It does have physics for airships, but does not have military science. Okay. And if you're curious about power between the two of them, it's very lopsided. Caesar, Liz, I mean, well, nice knowing you. Unless someone intervenes. Could they? Hammurabi is still pleased, so no. Gandhi, though, cautious. Cautious. Elizabeth is one who is often... Elizabeth often tries to get people to join her wars, too. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. Let's just say it's in play now. It's not an impossibility. Of course, if Caesar just conquers quickly, then it's going to be a moot point, but... well, oh, God, Caesar. Well, 107 units on that tile. And cannons will mean that the defenses will go down fast. Nottingham, which never fell to Suleiman, might be finally falling here to Caesar. Well, so much for those defenses. They really go down a lot faster in the late game, don't they? And there's calves running around up here in the north. I mean, this city is almost not defended at all. There's 3 redcoats, 2 calves. That's not a lot. Not a lot. Most of the defenders are in this city, which is about to get captured. So that's 1 down. Universal emancipation. That would actually help Caesar, since he needs to avoid the emancipation unhappiness. Yeah, there's not, does Liz have any wonders that are of any significance in this game? No, not really. She's just been weak the whole game. I'm sorry for those of you who picked Liz. I think there was a chance for her to do something in this game, but she just never expanded. She's been behind it's honestly kind of shocking she survived this long in this game. Maybe she survives longer if she buys in Gandhi. Maybe. Everybody wanted emancipation, apparently. She also could have signed a defensive pact. That would have been funny. If she signs a defensive pact with Gandhi and then Caesar attacks. Can't happen now. You can't sign a defensive pact while you're in a war. But that was a possibility earlier. Looks like Caesar's conquering from the south up to the north. I think that Hammurabi just declared war. No? No, just 1 unit moving through. Okay. I saw that unit and I was like, did he just declare war? But apparently not. So Kanye should fall this turn if that big stack attacks. Which I guess it didn't. Oh, nope, there it did. Just taking a while to cycle through all the Roman units, I suppose. Yeah, this is a very one-sided war. I guess we should check to see if Gandhi is plotting war. Nope. Couldn't betray our close friend. Did he go back up to pleased? Nope. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong one, aren't I? Still cautious, but not willing to declare war. So Caesar's certainly stacking up a lot of territory for himself. Um, I mean, he's getting close to 40% land area. The problem is I don't know how he gets over the final 20% he needs. I guess he could take out Hammurabi, but he'd still have to get over. He would have to confront Gandhi at some point. I don't know. Maybe if Gandhi really farts around and takes a while. Maybe if Gandhi goes for culture, there'd be a window there. Probably not, though. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I mean, he's actually almost tied Gandhi on score, which is kind of incredible, considering how strong Gandhi is. This is certainly a game where the favorites have really shown, as opposed to the rest of the field. All right, so this stack's approaching London. It'll take a couple turns to get there, though. I mean, Gandhi's on computers now, so. Meanwhile, Caesar is on scientific method. Not that close. Um, so maybe this won't end up being a fast game. I guess Gandhi's research has not been as great as I was expecting. 1600 per turn's a lot, but he's still got a little ways to go, and a lot can happen in the time that's remaining. Like, here's Gandhi. Well, I guess he doesn't have that far to go. He's got the modern era, basically. I mean, Caesar's a full era behind. Caesar's never catching him in tech. He would be wise just to get to assembly line, because if he unlocks factories, that production would at least give him a fighting chance. But instead, Caesar's on the scientific method line, which not nearly as good. All right, universal suffrage. Wait, where did the stack go that was... Oh, here it is. Here's the big stack. Does he have open borders with Gandhi? Is he going to walk around through Gandhi territory? He does have open borders with Gandhi. A lot of cavalry running around, a lot of pillaging going on. Hastings has a lot of cultural defenses, but not that many units up here. Still 80% cultural defense, not All right, here we go. Yep. So he did move through Gandhi's territory to get here. That was the correct way to move, by the way. Poor York. Maybe it'll actually get some tiles if London gets captured here. 80% down to 12%. My, how much faster war moves in this era, as opposed to the era of catapults and trebuchets. So, all right, there goes London. Not much left now, just the one city. Well, the game is consolidating. Hopefully those of you who were kind of skeptical of the Caesar picks, well, I don't think a lot of people were like that. Caesar was the favorite, but I hope this makes it clear why Caesar is such a strong AI. He just got sidetracked in this game. All right, come on, just a couple units defending. You can do it. Look at all those cavalry. I think this is the only stack that actually attacked, and there's more grenadiers coming up. A lot of units. A lot of Roman units. Yeah, Elizabeth was very lucky to survive this long. I mean, one of these stacks is going to finish this city off sooner or later. Oh, Diplo victory vote. All right, here we go. So one of these two is going to hold the vote. Caesar cannot lose. He's 50%, so he can't lose the election. How about Gandhi? Gandhi could lose, but I don't think he's going to. I mean, I really don't think that either of these can win. I think the vote just gets split. Caesar would need... I mean, Gandhi can't vote for him. Even if Liz votes for... Yeah, Caesar can't lose. He has 50% pop. Hammurabi doesn't like either of them enough to vote for them, I don't think. I mean, he's just +1 or +2, so this should just be split. Also, does Liz even get a vote if she dies on the turn the vote's being held? Well, she looks like she survived, so... Yeah, so Caesar was not able to get any votes. If by some chance Hammurabi liked him enough, that would have been enough to put him over the top. He actually could have won if Hammurabi voted for him here, he would have won the game. But of course, his relations weren't good enough with Hammurabi. Elizabeth had 8 votes. Yeah, she voted for Gandhi because she hates Caesar, but the 8 votes not enough to do anything. Gandhi's on robotics right now, by the way. Mechanized infantry. So I think Liz is dead on this upcoming turn. Gandhi with the nuclear plants everywhere. Fair enough. So he doesn't have the 3rd cultural city, though. He's still 50 turns away by culture. I think he would win by space before he won by culture. I think. Caesar actually takes over the score lead here. Too bad he's so far behind. And technologically. If Hammurabi had joined versus Frederick or Elizabeth, Caesar might... Yeah, that's right. Could have been able to win, but he wasn't able to. Now I'm not going to switch the broadcast over to show the spreadsheet because the last time I did that, it crashed. But I'm just going to write in Elizabeth, next one to die. Let's see. Caesar, a 2nd kill. And this is turn 299. 3, turn 299. Okay. All right, then there were 3. The field continues to get winnowed down as the time goes on. All right. Have Gandhi for space, so it seems good to me. All right, let's next turn this to get to turn 300, and then we'll look at some stats and see how the end game might play out. Aside from the obvious, Gandhi goes to space and wins the game, which is the most likely outcome. But we've got to think about potential alternate scenarios here, because that's not that interesting, even though it's most likely to happen. All right, so Gandhi's building research in most of his cities. Caesar is 800 beakers. Gandhi's up to 1,600 now. Helps that he's building research in his cities. Hammurabi's at 900. In terms of where they are on the tech tree, so Caesar is like about to enter the industrial. He's like early industrial, roughly. Let's see where Hammurabi is. All right, Hammurabi's ahead of him. Hammurabi's about to hit industrialism. Already has assembly line. So he's what, maybe 3 or 4 techs ahead of Caesar, roughly. And then Gandhi's like very far ahead of both of them. But Gandhi does still need some techs to finish the tree. He's still ignoring superconductors for labs. He needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He needs eight techs to launch the spaceship. 8. So I guess we're not going to have a super early finish. I guess the turn 300 suggestion was off. Oh well. Yet another area where I won't score points today. So that's kind of where those things stand. As far as the way relations go, so Caesar's cautious with both. He is trading an absurd amount of resources. He actually does not have oil connected. Is he lacking oil? That can't be right. There's no way he's lacking oil in it. Okay, yes, he has oil in his territory. Apparently he traded for it with Gandhi early on, but yeah, he definitely has oil. I was like, that can't be right. There's no way he could be missing that. Or is he trading Gandhi oil? Hasn't researched combustion, is that right? Oh yeah, he hasn't researched combustion. Okay, that explains it. So back here, Gandhi will not declare war, and Hammurabi will not declare war. So Caesar, but Caesar could attack either one of these two. So that's what we'll have to watch. Now, the smart thing for him to do would be to take over Hammurabi, absorb all that territory. He's at 43%. Hammurabi would get him, I don't know, 15% more, and then just try to get over the hump with a final war with Gandhi at like the last minute. Because I don't think he can win a protracted war with Gandhi. I mean, he's got rifles and cabs against mech infantry. That is a very one-sided conflict. I don't see how you win with that. I don't see how he gets up to domination. I just don't see it. Like, I have no idea how he gets up to the 62%, because Gandhi's territory is too large for that. But that's what he would have to hope to do. I know I heard the suggestions, could Gandhi win by domination by taking out Caesar? And that is a possibility. Well, the problem is Caesar's not close to tanks. Yes, if he could get tanks, but he's not that close to tanks. He needs assembly line, and he would need to get to electricity. I guess he's only technically 3 techs away. So maybe if he really emphasized tanks, tanks could actually maybe make some progress. The smarter move, though, would be to try to take out Hammurabi first, because Hammurabi is much weaker. If we're looking at the power bar graphs. I mean, Gandhi's here and Hammurabi's there. Similarly, if you look at like production, Caesar's production here. Food, similar story. But I think Gandhi probably just races through the tech tree, and that's that, I think. I was like, is Caesar going to attack? Oh, no, you know what he's doing? He's going to reinforce this city. Why he's putting all these units in this? I guess he's trying to make sure the city doesn't flip. So Gandhi's got one legendary city. He's going to hit two pretty quickly. The problem is he doesn't have a good third city. This is his closest. 48 turns. And if Caesar declares, he would get nuked. That's true. Hammurabi is on the way to tanks, absolutely. Gandhi is wasting time on advanced flight, though, which is a non-spaceship tech. So yeah, it looks like we might not have a fast finish, actually. Looks like we might be more towards turn 330, 340. We'll see, though. Could always have a war break out. And then who the heck knows what happens. All these mechs running around in the tundra. And we can always check to see if Caesar's plotting war. I guess I can't see because it's not redded out. Hammurabi has slipped down to cautious with Caesar, though, so that's significant. I don't think he would attack Caesar, but it's not... I mean, could he be plotting war? Or afraid of their military might, yeah. That's kind of the attitude you should have with the two of them. But yeah, so we're basically just waiting to see if another conflict's going to break out. Caesar's picking up liberalism. Okay, buddy. Oh, Gandhi's on the laser. If by some miracle Caesar could ever get Hammurabi to vote for him, he could win in the UN, but I don't see how he does that. If it's not written out, he's not plotting. I think that's correct. No, there's no defensive pacts in place right now. Okay, Caesar. Again, he's got a solid vote in the UN. He actually has more votes than the other two combined. Look at that. 331 against 325 from the other two. So yeah, I think that's right. I think if it's not read out, he's not plotting. Look at all those cities he's got. It's a lot of territory. I could be wrong though. I'm less certain on the exact mechanics of how that works. So yeah, Gandhi is slowly pushing through the remaining required techs. Caesar also wasted a turn going to free speech there. Why is he so slow on assembly line? He isn't doing something stupid like turning on culture, is he? Oh, he went 100% research for some reason. Probably upgrading something. Or 100% gold, excuse me. Probably upgrading something. And now he's pushing assembly line. But like, Gandhi's on the final spaceship techs, while Caesar's still in industrial land. I guess kind of quiet, peaceful turns here. Turn off the resources because they're kind of in the way. Look at all the units Caesar has in this city. He has 44 grenadiers in this city, 30 cannons in this city. I don't know if that's the wisest course of action. If a war does break out, all of those Roman units are going to be slaughtered instantly. Stuck in that one tile down there. So Rome did finally finish assembly line. Gandhi's on fusion though, which is one of the last spaceship techs. So sometimes the games have a lot of last minute drama. It doesn't look like this is a game that's going to have a lot of last minute drama. I guess we'll see if anything pops up, but it's hard to see that being the case. Getting Mount Rushmore finished. Caesar's also upgrading all his units, which is why he's running 60% gold. He's upgrading his rifles into infantry. The AI gets cheap upgrades, but they do have to pay for them. Rush the capital and raise it to stop Gandhi. The AI doesn't really behave that way, though. So I think Gandhi's on like the last tech here. No, actually, he still has a little. He has more than I thought. He still has 4 techs to go, but only 4. I guess, yeah, only 4 techs. We'll see if he wastes time on. Um, see if he wastes time going for stealth or not. So he has 2 legendary cities, and Varanasi is 32 turns away. So he's getting close. He could have probably won by culture faster than space, to be honest. Like, if you turn on the slider here, this city would go legendary a lot faster. Same as before. Hammurabi cautious, Caesar cautious with both. All right, well, gonna get to see at least one more war, you guys. Have enough on our hands right now. All right, Caesar. He's plotting to go after somebody, apparently. Guess we'll find out who it is. It would certainly be a lot wiser to attack Hammurabi than it would be to attack Gandhi here. We'll see, though. I'm a little surprised he's plotting war given that he's building research in like every city. All these units are. Caesar has 47 grenadiers, 76 cavalry, and 33 cannons in this city. If he does, like I said, if he does declare war on Gandhi, he's just gonna have all those units get wiped out. Any way to counter Gandhi's nukes? Nope, not until you have the SDI, which Caesar definitely does not have right now. Don't think Hammurabi is plotting war, but we can see. No, we're afraid of their military might. Well, I think we just spotted who he attacked, because a whole bunch of Roman units just appeared in Babylonian territory. Stop the war. Oh no, stop the war against Gandhi. Oh, okay. So no, it's not. All right, well, like I said, I don't think this is a good idea, but it's interesting. As I said, I don't think this is a good idea. 7 wars. We had a stop the war declaration. I think that this is just Caesar gets destroyed instantly because his units are so much weaker than Gandhi's. Well, good luck. Modern army and mechs. Are we going to see a whole bunch of nukes rain down? We might. I just don't see how Cavs ever capture cities against mechanized infantry. Peacekeeping fails. Gandhi defied it. Caesar said yes. Gandhi votes never. Okay. Right. Wait, where's the unhappiness? I have made a huge mistake. Well, so far, no cities have changed hands. Yeah, last minute drama. Yeah, I don't really know what this means in terms of how the game plays out. Oh yeah, this is where a lot of Caesar's units are down here. Or they were down here. Oh, yeah, here's his stack. Where in the world are these 85 units going? To Madras, I guess? But even if they capture the city, what in the world would they do with it? Like, what would they do even if they took this city? I don't know, man. All I know is that there's 85 units down there. I guess it drags out the end of the game for an additional period of time, um, which is good for some people in the picking contest and bad for other people. Does Gandhi even have nukes? I thought he did. Maybe he doesn't, though. I mean, Caesar's going towards tanks, but he's not there yet. His units are just so much weaker in the individual one-on-one matchups. So this stack did have 85. I guess it still has 85. Hasn't been attacked there. Gandhi's still building the spaceship for right now. I wonder if Hammurabi would try to get involved in this war. Kind of shocking that no cities have changed hands in this conflict yet. Well, he can only attack Caesar. He doesn't like he doesn't he likes Gandhi enough that he's pleased. Can I check nuke resolution? Oh yeah, maybe the nuke resolution was passed. That could have been it. Where's the nuke one? Nope, it has not been passed. Does Gandhi lack uranium for some reason? No, he has uranium. Did he just never build the Manhattan Project? Maybe he just never built the Manhattan Project. Yeah, no one's built the Manhattan Project. That's why we're not seeing nukes. No one's built it. No one's built it yet. That's weird. He never built it for some reason. Huh, okay. The next legendary city was still a little ways away when we last looked. But we can check now. Here's another stop the war against Gandhi vote. 20. All right, it's down to 21 turns. You know, that's looking more and more competitive with space right now. Let's see what this stop the war resolution turns out. Failed. Caesar voted yes again. Not enough votes on his own. Hammurabi keeps spiking this by saying no. It's just funny that Caesar started the war and he's just been like voting to stop the war from the moment he started it. Inexplicably. It's like, why did you start the war if you've done nothing but try to get out of the war the whole time? He's actually traded decently well, considering he is two military eras behind. It's kind of shocking he's done as well as he had. Now, it looks like the war weariness is killing him because Gandhi has Statue of Zeus. Oh, hey, here's a Gandhi stack. How did they get here, of all places? I don't know. Who knows? I'm like, what is this stack doing here, of all places? Somehow they ended up inside Roman territory. They actually didn't do all that great in their attack, it looks like. Oh, well. I mean, yes, I understand. They moved from the Arctic Sea, but, like, they're well into his territory. I don't know. I guess they just focused on that city for some reason. The big Roman stack down here is still trying to siege this city. I don't know how they ever get it, though. I guess 80 units maybe could punch through. Maybe. 80 units is 80 units, after all. I think they're healing right now. Oh, well. There were 80 units, now there's 36 units. That's why it's not good to attack when you're 2 eras behind in tech. There were 80 units there, not anymore though. Caesar is trying to pick up tanks. That would at least give him 1 unit that's somewhat comparable in strength. Now down to 30 units. Well, that war weariness ticking up. Again, he's still kind of keeping pace, somewhat shockingly. We have enough on our hands right now. Okay, buddy. So he's also plotting a war, and it can only come against Caesar. It just feels like Caesar's been completely alone the entire game, which makes sense because his one natural ally was Suleiman, and that's who he decided to attack. So, I mean, it's his own fault. Caesar deciding to attack the one person who should have been his ally. You know it's annoying having to scroll the tech tree over to the right every time. So Gandhi still needs to research ecology before he can launch the spaceship. Oh, well, Gandhi got peace with Caesar. And now Hammurabi attacks Caesar without Gandhi's help. Did they trade did any cities trade hands in that fighting? I don't think so. I don't think Gandhi ended up getting anything in that war. Does that change Hammurabi? Maybe he's still planning to attack. I don't know. No, there's not enough time left in this game for Caesar to eliminate someone more. Maybe if there was more time, but Varanasi's going legendary in 14 turns. And Gandhi only needs to build 1 more spaceship part. But I think Varanasi might just hit legendary before that can happen. There's just not enough time left in this game. Caesar has continued to control the UN despite all of this. And now he's finally able to get out from that war weariness. Did the remainder of the Caesar army get transported back here? Yes. What was left of it that didn't get shellacked in that fighting? So my predictions for this game have been very, very badly off. I thought it would be a fast game. It wasn't a fast game. I thought it would be domination. It's not going to be domination. I thought that Caesar would win. It's not going to be Caesar. And I thought that Caesar would not attack Suleiman, and he is going to. And that was the kind of the key factor in the game, was him attacking the person who should have been his ally. So that was kind of a long inner turn. I was wondering if that was an attack or something, but it doesn't look like it was. Alright, so Gandhi's about to finish the last spaceship tech, ecology, but he's 11 turns away. So since he has to wait 10 turns for the spaceship to arrive, I think that the culture victory is going to trigger before he can win by space. Pretty sure. Wait, these are some long inner turns. Did we have an attack or just a long inner turn, maybe? So there's the SS life support. Boy, this is very close. Look, this is... I think he launches the spaceship next turn with that life support finishing. If he hadn't researched stealth, I think he wins by space. But since he did research stealth, I think he wins by culture. Like, it's that close between the two victory conditions. Is Hammurabi still plotting? Yeah, so launches the spaceship, but remember, it takes 10 turns to get there. And this is only... Oh, wait, no, he slowed it down. Now it's 12 turns. What did he do? Oh, my God. But now it's 12 turns. What did he do? Oh, my God. The tension between whether it's space or culture. What exactly did he do? We got to keep an eye on what's going on in that city. God, he slammed that slider. Man. Well, I guess we do have a little drama here. Is it going to be space or is it going to be culture? It's very close between the two of them. And whether we see another conflict between Hammurabi and Caesar. Just kind of checking here each turn. 11 turns, man. Is he still plotting? Because I would have thought he would declare... No, he still says we have enough on our hands right now. And yet he's building research in every city, so I don't know what he's doing. I guess we should check Caesar. Does Gandhi turn the culture slider now that he's finished the tech tree? You would think he would. Alright, well I'm seeing Babylonian units in Roman territory, so... Alright, one more war declaration. Hey, that at least gets me an extra 2 points, because I have 10. Getting it within 2, because I'm not going to score points from like literally anything else. It's going to be a horrible scoring game for me. So let's look at that power bar graphs just real quick. Yeah, I don't know why he's declaring on Caesar. That seems like a big mistake. Too bad Caesar doesn't have enough time left to take him out, because that would be kind of a deserved result. Caesar does still have a fair amount of his military stuck in this city, but not nearly as much as he did before. Caesar was building research in every city, but he'll convert that over to military builds now. And Varanasi is still... Oh, it's down to 6 turns. What's the spaceship timer? Victories. 1932. So it's 7 turns to space. Oh my God. 7 turns to space, 6 turns to culture. That's close. So 1932, so it's turn 352 for space. And so it's 7 turns and 6 turns? Jeez. Very close. Alright, meanwhile, there's obviously fighting somewhere. A lot of tanks on both sides, I would think. Looks like London got attacked, or is being attacked right now. Seems to be the focus of Hammurabi. Caesar was not planning for this war, so he's probably been caught a little flat-footed. All right. 5 turns. Again, outpacing by 1 turn right now. Currently 1 turn more. Looks like London's going to get captured here. How far beyond that Hammurabi pushes, I'm not sure. If Caesar had launched that initial war at Gandhi or at Hammurabi instead of at Gandhi, he might have been able to take over Hammurabi, but I don't think that would have given him enough territory, even with everything. Oh wow, Hammurabi just got cleaned up. Because there were units here, and there ain't units here no more. Does not look like a good turn for him. But it's kind of a sideshow, right? Again, culture is running 1 turn ahead right now. 1 turn ahead of space. It's that close. 1 turn ahead. So that's why I'm trying to check in on that city each turn. The war generally doesn't matter. No. So it looks like the force that was attacking at London kind of got cleaned up, but whether anyone's going to be able to push on further is unclear. Yeah, I wouldn't say that the war is I wouldn't say this war is going very well for for old Hammurabi. That's a pretty nice shark fin there. So yeah, if this war continued, Caesar would definitely run him over and get yet another elimination. He just doesn't have time because the game's going to end in what, 3 turns, 4 turns? Oh, there's the Manhattan Project. Oh no, the culture's dropped back a turn. Oh no! It's now 5 turns. Oh my god. What is he doing that's shifting this back and forth? Oh man. Because he was at 400 last turn. He was at like 450 culture last turn. Now he's at 300. Unbelievable. Is it same turn? I think that the space is 1 turn faster, I think. I'm not sure which gets priority if they finish on the same turn. Oh, he keeps switching his specialist. That's it. So, again, just to show this. So Gandhi's spaceship estimated to arrive 1932. That's 3 turns. And Varanasi goes legendary in 5 turns. Yeah, I don't... man. Yeah, he keeps changing up his specialists. Why is he working all these oh my god, he's working engineers because he's trying to build the Manhattan Project. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Because he shifted all his specialists to engineers. Oh my god. Why? Why? Of all cities to build the Manhattan Project in. But yeah, I think that's it. I think it's because he wanted to emphasize production. Literally in the only city where it matters. Wow. His hunger for nukes is trolling us all. Turn 350. So that means the date is now late enough that I don't get any points for the date, which kind of sucks. Not great. Um, well, 2 turns to space and 4 turns. He's going to miss it by that much. 4 turns to culture. He is just running a little bit behind there. Caesar still has not managed to put. Oh, here he is. I was going to say, still has not managed to put a doom stack together. Like I said, he was not expecting this war, so he's been caught kind of off guard, and I think that's part of it. No, I mean, a lot more people picked Gandhi for culture than space. Culture was about 2.5 times more common than space, so I'm sorry, all of those of you who had culture. I can't believe that he pulled the specialist off. Yeah, 3 turns, but he's going to win by space on the very next turn, so it's going to be space. It's not going to be culture. I'm sorry. He's got a legendary city with 49,400 culture, but he just has not gotten over the edge. He never ran the culture slider even once. Like, if he had run the culture slider, he could have won so much sooner. And Rome is, like, now finally putting a stack together, but it's not going to happen here, so... Looks like space it is. But a lot of people had Gandhi for first, and they'll do well. Um, Everybody else, not so great. Okay, buddy. Sorry, a little late on that call for help. So space race victory. First place pick for Caesar does not get any points for him finishing second, not unless you had Caesar first and Gandhi second, in which case you would get half points for getting the 2 leaders but in the wrong order. But no, does not get any points. These were the 2 top leaders, and I think we all were expecting one of them to win the game. And if you picked Caesar, then you just picked wrong, like I did. Absolutely brutal. I'm so sorry for everybody who had culture victory. All right, let's watch the replay first, then we'll get to the scoring contest. I didn't think the early game went great for Gandhi, like the settling, because like if you look how many people settled close to him, Suleiman settles in his direction. Hammurabi gets this spot, which I think was not great for Gandhi, because he could have easily gotten this spot. He was only like a turn behind getting this. If he gets that spot and then also gets that spot, he's in a much stronger position. He's like a full city up the whole early game. Like I think the early games lined up really well for Caesar. Suleiman settled east. Liz came down here. Liz was in a weak position because remember, a weak Liz is bad for Gandhi. Freddie was doing often La La Land, doing whatever. Like I think this all was setting up really well. Even the early war with Elizabeth wasn't the worst thing, although obviously it would have been better if Suleiman had attacked Gandhi. If you were like picking Caesar, but Liz was just so weak that it like didn't really matter that much. She didn't have much of an effect on the game. But I mean, it did still matter though, right? Because Gandhi was Suleiman's worst enemy right up until that happened. Suleiman probably would have attacked Gandhi if Elizabeth had not attacked him. So that war declaration was pretty significant. But the thing that just completely swung the game was this: Caesar declaring war on Suleiman. Just enormous, a catastrophic miscalculation by him. It's the only thing he needed to do. If he declares war on Elizabeth, the 2 of them become good friends. They steamroller her, and then Gandhi is probably next on the agenda. If he attacks Frederick, he takes over Frederick at a much earlier date. He still would have he still would have conquered Freddie, but it would have happened, 75 turns earlier. And then Suleiman would have run over Liz. And then the 2 of them are, the Bash brothers taking over the map. But no, instead he pours all his resources into defeating his most natural ally. And so Gandhi gets the reprieve. Gandhi also gets the reprieve when Freddie declares on Hammurabi for who knows what reason. So everyone in the world is at war except Gandhi. And he just gets to sit there in tech. And then just as Suleiman's in the process of dying, we get the other enormous step in the game. Frederick declares on Julius Caesar. Just such a different circumstance. If that war declaration does not happen, Caesar finishes conquering Suleiman, gets probably 20 turns to consolidate, then attacks Frederick. Instead, he gets blindsided, and the war just ends up taking absolutely forever. It just slowed down his conquest so much. Like if he takes over Suleiman and then gets time to consolidate, the war is just so much faster. Meanwhile, Gandhi's settling the tundra down here. The endless siege at Berlin that just went on and on and on and on and on. And then Hammurabi deciding to attack Elizabeth too, just to make things last. I mean, then here we're at the tail end of the war, and like by the time Frederick's gone, it's too late. Gandhi's already at assembly line. He not only has rifles, he has assembly line. He's just way too far ahead. You can't stop him at that point. He's like an era and a half ahead in tech, and it doesn't really matter that Caesar has more territory. Plus, Gandhi got all this territory. Like, imagine if Caesar has this territory down here, which he probably would have settled, except that he was in wars for the entire game. Like, that's why he never settled there. The AI really doesn't push out settlers when in the middle of a war. Like, if he takes over Suleiman, he probably settles down there in the south. Imagine Gandhi not having that territory. If Caesar has that, and then he takes over Elizabeth, he has a legit shot to get to domination without fighting Gandhi. But, not having that territory just means it's too tough. That's another almost 10% of the map right here, but didn't end up happening. It was the perfect game for Gandhi, just the way things played out. It went exactly the way he wanted. And then at the end, we get some wars, but no real territory changing hands. Gandhi does not have a killer instinct even when he's at war. You could see he didn't really try to push into Caesar's territory, not to any serious extent. So, um, honestly, if you have Gandhi and Spaceship, you probably have outscored the vast majority of people for this game because hardly anyone had first to die, and second place is kind of a toss-up. If you picked Caesar, if you picked Gandhi, you probably didn't pick Caesar for second. I'm sure some people did, but I don't think it was super common. All right, so that's that. That's game number one, or game number three. Wow, can't talk. It was the perfect Gandhi game.